Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it. He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to the ASRL GT4 at Long Beach. Excited to get it underway on this 3.14 kilometer long circuit, and it's Dave Seeds at the minute in qualifying. Let's get straight into qualifying because we did join a bit late, sadly. Here is Dave Seeds at the moment on provisional pole position with a 1:26.437. Doesn't go quick here on his second time round. The drivers will need all the practice that they can get around this difficult track because the walls are closed and they take no prisoners at all. Welcome in to everyone else. Hope you are enjoying yourself today. Of course, the usual Brody Gunter, who is behind Dave Seeds at the minute. It's about 1.4 seconds, however. Calvin Levy, excuse me, has gone up into P2. And that is a wall touch for Dave Seeds. That is his qualifying coming to an end. Mike Pepper has also had an off track. We have Rob Henry, who's still on a quick one. However, he has set his 2 lap times. The only one still on track and can improve. Nicolas Batista in the Aston Martin. Quickest Aston Martin in the hands of Rene Garcia at the moment. Up in P4. A bit more of a mix at the top. Instead of only McLarens, it's a McLaren, a Mercedes, a McLaren, a Aston Martin and another McLaren. Hamlin, Gunter, Seeds, of course. The usual faces in the McLarens. Nicolas Batista is just rounded off the last hairpin corner. Across the line for him. And he will go up into P13. Also with us today, as always, Mr. Fred Thompson in the BMW. Andres Martinez, who's out on track 2. And his beautiful disco, whatever it might be, liveried. Aston Martin. Well, now that qualifying is done, apart from Andy Polocchi. Oh, Facundo Rago! Boom! To the top he goes. What a time from Facundo. Unbelievable. 6/10 of a second. No one expected that. Polocchi, is he going to jump up? Is he not? He is not. He stays down in P19. But what a time from Facundo Rago. Unbelievable. Performed when he needed to. What a lap time from him. Let's take a look, however, at how the championship is lining up real quick. We've got about 2 minutes to do so. And here is the top 10 in the championship. Brody Gunter leading the way on 3, 4, 5 points. Then Dave Seeds in second on 3, 1, 7. Brian Dees in P3 on 2, 3, 9 points. Robert Henry in P4. Then Andres Martinez in P5. Andrew Polocchi in P6 and a Corey Rutherford in P7. Johnny Alfred in P8. Kyle Shepard in P9. Joshua Rutherford in P10. That is your top 10. Of course, Joshua Rutherford rounds off with 149 points together with Kyle Shepard. Paul Ellison in P11 ahead of Calvin Levy in P12. Corey Groves in P13 and Mike Pepper in P14. Then in P15 you have Dalton Kilroe ahead of Kenneth Estup. And in 17th you have Derek Moorish ahead of Jerry Crouch. In total we have about 35 drivers in the championship. Rick Thompson in P19, Ryan Flanagan in P20, 21 for Fred Thompson, 22nd for Anthony Props, Facundo Rago P23, a man who's very quick but farther down the order than he would have liked. Jarrell Williams in P24, Gareth Rainey in P25, Jose Mori P26, Nicolas Batista in the Aston Martin in P27, then P28 for Alexander Abade, Matt Dyer in P29, Dallin S. Despain in P30, Jeffrey Smith P31, Cassie Campbell P32, Alex Howland P33, Sean Cole in P34, and Chris Gouvards in P35. Well then, that is the championship with how they're lining up at the moment. It's about 4 seconds left in qualifying before we go to the grid. We have 20 drivers with us today. And there is qualifying has come to an end. And here is the grid for the race. Facundo Rago in P1 ahead of Dave Seats in P2. Calvin Levi in P3. Brody Gunter P4. Rene Garcia P5. Mike Hamlin P6. Then we have Mike Pepper in P7. Ken Esther P8. Derek Morris P9. Rob Henry in P10. Rick Thompson in P11. Brian Dees in P12. Further on in the grid we have Johnny Alford P13, Nicholas Batista P14, Joshua Rutherford P15, Corey Rutherford P16, Chris Covars in P17, Andres Martinez P18, P19 for Andy Pollocky and Fred Thompson in P20. All in all, a great drive from Fred Thompson to once again be on the grid. Gridding is done. So we're getting underway now for this race.
Green.
5 red lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go. Facundo Rago, not with the best start. Dave Seats immediately pauses him before we even get down to the first 100 meters. Then Facundo Rago drops even further down. Brody Gunter gets past Calvin Levy up the inside of him too. He's going to have a little look up the inside of turn 1. Not quite has it. Facundo Rago is in the fight with Brody Gunter, who's going up and down the orders, going through the grass, through the flowers. Watch out for the fountain, sir. Those flowers cost a lot of money. Calvin Levi up the inside of Brody Gunter. Can't quite make it. Derek Morris in the background, of course, in his Porsche. Then we have Rick Thompson in his BMW. Up the front, though, someone's dropping down. Facundo Rago in P2. Still in battle with Brody Gunter. I thought for a moment he had touched the wall. But all in all, every driver has turned around safely except Brody Gunter. Contact with the inside wall gets thrown into the tire barrier. That car is grabbing, and he should probably not fight it anymore. Or was he just testing if the car was still straight? I think he was. You can clearly see the damage. That car is almost undrivable for Brody Gunter. Is he going to put into pit lane for a repair job? He was quick through the hairpin, has to be said. But Dave Seats is absolutely bolted in this one. Facundo Rago, of course, the only other driver to win a race other than Brody Gunter and Dave Seats. There he is. Championship leader has touched the wall. That is calamity for him, and he does it again a rub at the wall, and again he is playing with the walls here at Long Beach. You don't want to do that too often, because the walls here, like I said, they are ruthless. They don't care about who you are or what you want to be. If you touch them, there's a big chance you'll be taken out by them. And Brody Gunter found that out the hard way. Mike Hamlin all the way down in P5 in the BWT livery McLaren. Derek Morris in P9 ahead of Rick Thompson in P10. Rick Thompson not doing too badly. Where is Fred Thompson? There is Sir Fred Thompson. Look at him on a nice and cozy Sunday drive around this track. Joined with about a half an hour to go. No experience at all around this track. Had to buy the track. Had to help him buy the track. And he just got out. So yeah, props to the 77-year-old driver, Fred Thompson, father of Rick Thompson. A little bit further up in the field, Rick Thompson, a very, very proud son. Further down the field, it is Corey Rutherford, who's on the back of Andres Martinez. McLaren seem quick here. I was actually talking to the guys a bit earlier on, and they were saying that, or Calvin was saying that he has found the track. Here he is, Calvin. That he's found the track where the Mercedes was actually good at And it was not this track. Sadly for him, it was not this track that the Mercedes was that good at. However, knowing him, he will still do as best as he can. He's currently in P6, 9 positions lost, or 3 positions lost from where he started. Started all the way up in P3. Brody Gunter, there he is at the front of this pack now, but losing touch to Facundo Rago and Dave Seeds. Facundo Rago has got all the way back up to Dave Seeds. Look at that, 6/10 quicker last time round by Facundo Rago. Gets compromised a bit by Fred Thompson, who tries to make his way out of the way for the leaders coming through. Where is Facundo Rago able to make this pass? Because it's difficult to try and look at a passing opportunity. The only real passing opportunity he maybe has is down at the turn 1 with a good slipstream, because the rest is just the walls are so close that if you do go for a dive and you do make a mistake, you're going to end up in the one. I think Facundo Rago wants to take that risk. However, with 6 tenths ahead of the field during that qualifying session, you'll be sure that he's going to go for it down the inside. Has a little look on Seeds. Seeds knows how to defend that. 5 minutes into this 20-minute race already. Here we go. Gunter is catching up now to the back of Seeds. However, we know that Brody Gunter has a little bit of damage. That's not going to help his cause. There is the battle between Calvin Levi and Mike Hamlin, the McLaren up ahead of him. Where is Calvin going to go? He tries to find his way up the inside of Hamlin ahead of him in turn 1. Couldn't quite do it. Difficult corner to try and make that pass out, even though it is your hardest braking zone. It is still a very quick left-hand corner. Oh, bit of a slide there coming out of turn 5 for Calvin. Incredible how he was able to catch that slide. Manages to hold it. Gaps now forming slowly but surely. Rene Garcia has got past Fred Thompson again. Oh, contact with the wall for Morris up ahead. Behind that you can see the leaders coming through. Facundo Rago will be getting frustrated now with the fact that Dave Seeds once again has some slipstream from the cars up ahead. However, Garcia is going to go for the move now on Morris. Morris is going to let both the leaders through, I suppose. Yes, he is. Both of them are compromised. Maybe Seeds more so than Facundo. However, I can't see Facundo Rago go for a move somewhere where they are right now. Through Fountain Corner. Still has to wait, but a bad start for Facundo Rago kind of put him into this position. I have to say, if he might have had the start that he would have been hoping for, that wouldn't have been an issue. Down the inside now then for Facundo Rago. This is for the lead of the race. The 95 Mercedes finds his way through on the McLaren number 14. Dave Seeds down to P2. Brody Gunter down to P3. Facundo Rago could win it only his second race on the season. And it would come after a bad start at this Long Beach circuit. Where is Seeds gonna try and get back past, maybe slipstreaming down the main straight, down the front stretch. However, 6/10 is way too far. Never able to make that stick. Here's the battle for 7, 8 and 9th. There's Alfred at the back of Hamlin and Thompson on the back of Alfred. Now as you can clearly see, Oliver Hamlin has now gone into pit road. Normally the sprint race you don't really have to make a pit stop. So I'm a bit surprised why he's gone into pit road. He's already come out of it again. Did he have a stop and go or something? Because he has a pit stop time of 1 second, well, of 1.5 seconds. So I have a feeling that there might have been a stop and go for Mike Hamlin. There might have been a penalty involved with him going into pit lane. Of course, we don't know. Still have to guess a bit. This is the battle for P10. Estep under pressure from Polakate. Porsche versus BMW. The Porsche, a very small car. BMW, one of the biggest GT4 cars. Lap times here are around the 126 mark. That's what we're looking at the moment to do. But I can't really see where anyone is going to be able to pass here. Very difficult track to pass at. And that is showing now. However, not entirely a surprise when the walls are this close. We've had the Monaco Grand Prix last weekend in real life. Who's that? That's Kuvaris going slow ahead of them. Can't see any incidents that happened to Kuvaris, so it's just genuinely a mistake from Kuvaris. Now means that Polakate is all over the back of the BMW from Estep, and Estep himself can try and have a go at the Porsche ahead of him. Bit of a slide coming out of turn 7 means that he's now under pressure, well and truly, from the Porsche. Polakate behind him. Polakate has a little bit of a look up the inside and makes that move stick. Estep down into P11 now. Levi is in P16 at the moment, chasing down Batista ahead of him. Here's that battle. Calvin is not supposed to be this far down. You see that in his style of overtaking too. He'll be a bit more aggressive with his overtakes, I think. Ken Estep might go for the re-overtake on Polakate. There he is down the inside, has a little look, thinks the better of it. Goes to the battle at the minute out on track. Of course, when I changed that changed to Martinez and Rutherford. These two are in the battle too. The McLaren of Rutherford ahead of the Aston Martin of Martinez, who ran a little bit deep going down on the turn 1. And always when I see a car run deep, especially down into turn 1, hold your hands when you hold your hands in front of your eyes. You try and look through your fingers, because it's always scary when a car goes off. Never want to see that, really. However, this has now allowed Kuvaris to go up to overtake Polakate, or Polakate to overtake Kuvaris, I have to say. Is there some damage to the left front of that Porsche? I think there is. Kuvaris carrying a little bit of damage on the front left of that Porsche, meaning that Ken Estep, the BMW behind him, can now attack. A big hit into the wall for Kuvaris. That means that Ken Estep now has been able to make that overtake in the background. Joshua Rutherford getting all out of shape coming out of the hairpin. Luckily for him, wasn't pressurized really by Fred Thompson. Derek Morris has gone back into pit lane. Why has that happened? Oh no. Oh no. Gentlemen, Brody Gunter, what have you done? What have you done? Has he gone into the wall? Oh, yes, he has. That was Fred Thompson pushing him all the way to the outside wall. Brody Gunter is down in P8 in this race. This is what happened to Derek Morrish. I just loses it under braking. Oh no, it was on the exit of the corner where he lost it. And just resets back to pit lane. Or is he going to turn it around and go back into pit himself? No, he's going to reset back to pit lane. Oh. There we go. Facundo Rago still in the lead of this race. 3.6 seconds over Dave Seas. If he can hold this, it'll only be a second victory this season. But he needs one because he's quite far down the order in the championship. So if there's one man that needs a victory more than anyone else, it's this man to try and catapult himself up into the top 15. And a victory like this would do good for that. Seats is still behind him though to pick up the pieces if something goes wrong up ahead. But Facundo Rago, you have to say, you can't really go too wrong with betting on this guy for race number 2. Yes, it's a longer race. Yes, he's got to start at the back of the grid and he's got to work his way through. But you have to be realistic and say, you know, he's so quick. He was 6/10 quicker than anyone else in the qualifying, and to do that under such high pressure with such high stakes is pretty impressive. Johnny Alford on the back of Brian Dees. Porsche versus Porsche, so both an equal machinery. The Pennzoiled yellow liveried Porsche is from Alford. The black, white and gold liveried Porsche up ahead of that is the one from Brian Dees. Behind that is the BMW of Thompson, who's catching up. And he doesn't need a second invitation. If he can go for it, he's going to go for it. Is that Fred Thompson down on P19. Son, Rick Thompson, is all the way up in P7. So both on the opposite ends of the spectrum. However, can he climb some more positions? Alford is the next in line for him. So many drivers who just sound like they touch the wall, which eventually is going to be inevitable, really. You're always going to risk it a bit. For now, I would say that Rago has done everything he needed to do to be a deserving winner of this race. In the background, or a little bit further back in the field, it is Levi trying to make his way past Batista. Still, this battle raging on. Oh, there was a big crunch up. Was that Hamlin who went into the wall? It might well have been. There's Brody Gunter. He's going to lose a lot of points in the championship to where he was, or to where he is now, and that is leading the championship. So he has a little bit of margin. But with Gunter now this far down the order, that means that he'll be starting further to the front for race number 2. And that's quite a scary thought, I have to say, because for him starting at the front, he can create a big gap, just run away with stuff. However, we have seen the same at the moment from Facundo Rago. Johnny Alford and Rick Thompson are fighting too. It is Johnny Alford in the middle of it all. The Pennzoiled liveried Porsche. he's going to make his way up the inside, or he's going to go around the outside. I doubt it. And he's not going to do something like that. Just going across the line is Facundo Rago. I think we are white flag indeed. I want to see. Once we go past start finish. There is the white flag from Barney. It's up in the air. Here comes Alfred Peace and Thompson. Down in the turn one. Is Thompson going to try something? No, he's going to keep it sensible. He knows that he needs the points just as well as all the guys ahead of him. Estep maybe down the inside of Pollocky. Pollocky has done a great job of getting up the order again. Welcome into the stream, Hash Browns. I'm literally on the toilet right now. Well, that's an interesting one. Let us know, where are you watching this from? And where are you watching it on? A tablet, a computer, a laptop, maybe your TV, maybe, you know, we're in the living room on your TV. However, that doesn't matter for this man. Facundo Rago is going to come through to win only the second race of this championship for him. But it's only the second time someone different than Dave Seeds or Brody Gunther has won a race. This for its season, that is quite literally weird to think. Dave Seeds gets through in P2, Mike Pepper gets through in P3, Rob Henry, there he is in the McLaren, does a great job to come through in P4. And behind that, this is the battle for Rick Thompson, Johnny Alford and Brian Dees. They're going to come across the line, Linus Stern. Here is Guvares, who's going to get it. Pollocky to Guvares. It is Pollocky in the end. Guvares last time round 2/10 quicker than Pollocky. Estep got past on Pollocky too on that last lap. That's one to keep in mind. Pollocky very quick early on, but then drops off in the latter stages of the race. Now waiting for everyone to just come across the line. Mike Hamlin, the only one we're waiting for. There we go. There is the result from Heat 1. Results are in, and let's take a look at how they exactly lined up then. Facundo Rago wins ahead of Dave Seeds in P2. Mike Pepper in P3. Rob Henry P4. Brian Dees P5. Johnny Alford P6. Rick Thompson P7. Ken Estep P8. Andy Pollocky P9. And Chris Guvaras in P10. You might ask yourself, well, where do we find Brody Gunther? I can tell you where you can find him. All the way down at the bottom of this list in 16th. Just 2 places ahead of Rene Garcia in P18 and Mike Hamlin in P17. An absolutely terrible race for Brody Gunther. And not what he would have wanted. I don't know if we can have a chat to Brody. Let's see if we can have a chat to the man who will be dropping loads of points in the championship, but we'll be looking to gather some back in the second race. Welcome in, Brody. Don't know, Brody might be going for a toilet break, I think. Judging by the fact that this is all so close and they haven't got a lot of time. I think Brody is off for a little bit of a break, but not the best race there indeed for Brody Gunther. Down in P16. Ahead of him, we find Nicholas Batista, Calvin Levi, Corey Rutherford, Andres Mercedes, and Joshua Rutherford in P11, 12, 13, and 14. 15, of course, Nicholas Batista. Mike Hamlin in P17. Rene Garcia in P18. And then a little bit further on for the 20 grid. 20 strong grid, we have Fred Thompson and Derek Morrish. Brody Gunther, are you able to hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. There he is, Brody Gunther. Not the best race for you out on race number 1. What are you looking for race number 2?
I guess it's trying to reboost my confidence. That was a pretty bad race for me. Yes, that was very uncharacteristic of me. I think that's the first time I've lost the first race this season. I'm very upset myself about that, but I guess, yeah, we'll try and come back and see if we can win the second one.
What exactly caused that? I think we saw you touch the wall in turn 6. But
There were many walls that were touched by me. I think, yeah, I destroyed the car. I had to come in and, yeah, get it fixed with one quick repair.
Did you have a meatball flag in the end?
No, sir. I just was like, the car was so messed up. I basically probably needed one, but yeah, iRacing didn't give me one yet.
There we go. Sometimes you get those magical meatball flags for nothing, and sometimes you don't even get them. For race number 2, starting at the front of the field, do you think he'll be able to get a sizable gap before the rocket that's Facundo Rago comes through?
I hope so. I definitely do hope so.
All right, Brody Gunter.
We'll definitely see.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck for race number 2.
Thank you.
Not the best race there for Brody Gunter, but you know, it is what it is. He deals with it. Let's see if we can have a chat to the big man himself. I can't see him at the minute. Where he is, Facundo. He might be in a world of his own. He was in there earlier, I know for sure, but can't find him at the moment. So I don't think we'll be able to talk to our winner of that race. But Facundo Rago, a monumentally quick drive from him. Here we go. Once again, track temperature at the moment, 53 degrees Celsius. Baking hot is the track at the moment. You can bake an egg on the track surface right now. At an altitude of 3 meters, this track. So, well, not highest located track you can find. However, and here he is very quickly, because I know he's going to be gridding up for race number 2. Facundo Rago, congratulations on your victory. What are the plans for race number 2?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it was really fun. I didn't know I had to come here, so yeah, 20 seconds to second race. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be tough. Here's very tough to pass, but yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Now, my only question before we go to the grids for the next race: what have you eaten today? 6/10 ahead of the field in qualifying.
Yeah, well, I really like this place. I've never driven here before, but it's really fun. It's really fun between the walls. The walls are really close, and yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, looking forward to race 2.
For sure. All right. Best of luck for race number 2, and I hope you get through the field safely.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that as well. So yeah, thank you, and saludos para Mati in Spanish.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, thank you, man.
Well then, that was Facundo Rago. Let's take a look at the grid real quick before we head to race number 2. It'll be Derek Morris, Fred Thompson on the front row, Rene Garcia, Mike Hamlin, Brody Gunter, Nicholas Batista, Calvin Levi, Corey Rutherford, Andres Mercedes, Joshua Rutherford, Chris Cuvars, and Andy Pollocky in P12. Then further through the grids we have Ken Estep, Rick Thompson, Johnny Alfred, Brian Dees, Rob Henry, Mike Pepper, Dave Seeds, and Facundo Rago, the winner, of course, from last race, all the way down in P20. We're waiting at the moment for Derek Morris to appear onto the grids before we can continue with the rest. Gridding is done. Derek Morris is not on the grid. The 5 red lights are on, and it's lights out and away we go. This has allowed Mike Hamlin to shoot to the front. So does Rory Gucci was. And Nicholas Batista on the pole position. He raised Nicholas Batista. I think he's been passed already by Rene Garcia. Joshua Rutherford going up the inside too. The Porsche though of Chris Coufard drives all the way up the inside. We're 3 wide through turn number 1. You would say that would never work, but they have made it work somehow through Fountain Corner. No one messing up so far. All the drivers just getting through cleanly. Fred Thompson deciding to start from pit lane and not from the front of the field. Oh, Freddie into the pit wall coming out of pit lane. Tires are cold, remember. Hope all is okay with that BMW. But that'll certainly knock the confidence from Fred Thompson a bit. Derek Morris is in the Porsche. Also decided not to start from pole position, but to start from pit lane. Mike Hamlin at the moment is leading this race away. It's a McLaren 1-2-3 again. Günther, Rutherford and Hamlin at the front of the field. Hamlin, Günther, Rutherford, that's the order that they are in. Levi in the background trying to get through in his Mercedes 2. Here he is. Under pressure from Chris Couvars, who touches the wall on the exit of the hairpin. 40 minutes this race with a pit stop included. So a little bit of a longer race. Drivers will be taking it a bit more carefully. Rene Garcia is someone who's not taking it carefully at the moment. He's trying to make his way through on Polike. However, Polike we've seen in race number 1 is such a hard driver to pass. And he's going to manage though down the turn 1. The cut back from the Porsche with a better exit, and they all check up in front. I think it was the Aston Martin Joshua Rutherford in front who touched the wall. That allowed everyone else to kind of bunch up behind that. There he is. It's absolute calamity. We're 4 wide in the background for a moment. What has happened to Joshua Rutherford? It seems like his steering column is out of line. Oh, contact almost again with Pepper in the Porsche. Brian Dees, here he is a little bit further back. Also hasn't had the best start. Brian Dees, let's see what happened exactly to him. Here he is going down into, I think, turn 1. Yes, turn 1. And he's going to go straight into that wall. No, he's going to go straight on. He doesn't even make the turn. Has to reverse back and then let everyone past. And then can continue his way. But that is a lot of time loss, especially this early on in still that close. Mike Hamlin still at the front of the field ahead of Brody Günther in P2. Brody Günther now going for it though on Hamlin. Levi has gone past Corey Rutherford in the background, so he might be a dark horse for this victory too. Where is Brody Günther going to make this pass? It doesn't look like on the straight he's going to be quicker. They're both in the same machinery, so it's only slipstream that is helping Brody Günther down the inside then for turn 5. He's made it. He's made it stick, Brody Günther, and he's up into the lead of the race. Like he said he wanted to do. The inside though for Hamlin. This can work with respect from both drivers. They both come in contact. This is going to allow Levi through. We're 3 wide going down to turn 8. Who's going to come out ahead? It seems to be Calvin at the minute. Mike Hamlin gets through on Brody Günther again. So he has to have another shot at the contact between the top 2 though, and they both go off. Brody Günther in the end gets what he wants. That leading position, Calvin Levi, contact now again. This is drama at the hairpin. Now we have to watch out that we don't get a car park. Please stay where you are. It's a car park at the hairpin. Everyone getting through now. There was Mike Hamlin in the background, I think also off in the McLaren. He's now gone into pit road for his first pit stop. That was almost caution worthy. We had a caution last time round, if you remember. That was also in race number 2. So race number 2 always seems to bring some chaos. But through all of that, it is Brody Günther, ladies and gentlemen, who is now leading this race. That is something that I think a lot of us wouldn't have expected, really. But no, Brody Günther, in the end, got through and did what he needed to do, and has a 7.1 second gap to the cars behind. Look a little bit further back in the field. Mike Pepper and Rick Thompson are side by side almost. Something you say almost is impossible on this track without any contact, but they're doing it. The outside shoulder to Pepper. Doesn't quite get the move done. Behind that is Dave Seeds lining him up. Where is the pocket rockets from Argentina? Facundo Rago in P6 at the minute already. What a great opening 10 minutes of the race he's had. He's on the back of Pollocky right now. Is he going to be able to make that pass into Fountain Corner? He's not on the exit maybe then. Oh, no contact between the two. And as the Porsche of Andy Pollocky, who's off the road, gets himself off the racing line. Now can rejoin the racing action. Oh, just keeps it out of the wall. Some contact there between the two. So once again, Facundo Rago is giving it absolutely everything. And absolutely everything has to get out of the way for him to get through. Garcia up a little bit further up the field with Nicolas Batista side by side. These are teammates, remember. And they're going to go side by side through there, but this is almost impossible. Nicolas Batista gets out ahead though of Rene Garcia. Down the main straight, going down into turn one again. 8 minutes completed now of this 40-minute race. Almost 1/4 of the way there. Garcia's in the wall. He's giving it everything to try and pass his teammate. If there's one man you want to beat on the track, it is your teammate. He will give it absolutely everything to try and get past his teammate. And there he's done it. Garcia's got past Batista. An easy pass, maybe also some team orders coming into play, because look who's behind. Facundo Rago is already trying to make his way past both of them. And I can tell you one thing, he is not going to have time to hang around, because he wants to get to the front of this field. A 12.6 seconds gap already for Brody Gunther at the front of the field. Thompson has just been overtaken by Mike Pepper. So that gap is so close that Alfred is pressurizing Henry up ahead of him. And then Ken Estrup in P40 chasing down Corey Rutherford in the McLaren. Corey has gone wide. It's going to allow Estrup through. That'll be the easiest pass he's had so far this evening. But Corey Rutherford with a good exit, unintentionally out of that hairpin. Might well be able to fight back with some slipstream. He is going to be able to bounce back. Look at that speed from the McLaren down the straight. Estrup just has nothing to say. The inside held by Rutherford, and he gets the move done. Nothing that Estrup could say to that straight line speed of that McLaren. Facundo Rago has already got past Nicolas Batista. Rene Garcia is the next one on his list to get into the top 3 already. Is Facundo Rago going to do a great job for his championship chances here, and acknowledge himself as one of the quicker drivers. He loves this place, he said. See if he almost knows every inch through practice. There you go, we're on board now with Facundo Rago. down on the turn 1. Gonna make your way all the way over to the right hand side, go down into 3rd gear. A very quick left hander still. The outside there's a tire barrier, which is just a bit extended from the wall. Easy to hit, then into fountain corner, a long right hander, which leads into turn 5 and 6. Or turn 4 and 5, excuse me. Oh, a little bit of a touch on the wall there for Rago. Something that you're going to see a lot of drivers do here today. A little bit of a slide from both Rago and Garcia. Oh, both of these drivers are on the edge. None of them wants to give an inch to the other. Gap to Günther at the front is not stabilizing at all. That is creeping up all the time. 16 seconds down the inside goes Facundo Rago. Gets that move done. Next target up ahead for him is Cuvaras. Rick Thompson, yeah, that is Johnny Alford on board with him. He touches the wall. It's just how close these margins are here this evening on Long Beach. Rick Thompson, there he is on the back of Pepper, Mike Pepper, trying to get past. There is Fred Thompson, almost contact with his son. Son wouldn't have been too happy if that was the case. Pretty sure, however, father and son could laugh about that pretty hard. Thompson is in a good position now on P8 on the back of Pepper. Pepper is a good driver to try and follow through. Here he is, Facundo Rago on the back of Cuvaras already. Unbelievable how quick he's done that. Like I said, I want to know what this man has eaten before he went into this race, because it is doing absolutely wonders for him. Has a look down the inside of 8. Can't do it. Inside is blocked off for 9 and 10 by Cuvaras, but he has such a long straight ahead of him. So doesn't really need to worry about it too much, especially when Cuvaras is going to start touching the wall. That's when he can just make sure he's doing what he needs to do. Doesn't take any unnecessary risk. And he's doing that right now. Up into P2 for Facundo Rago. Now it is interesting to see what body control will be able to do against those lap times from Facundo Rago. Well then, Andres Martinez in P6 trying to make his way up the order. All 3 Aston Martins in the top 6. Then you have Rutherford, the only other Aston Martin who's not Linus Stern. Like I said, Aston Martin, a stable car to drive, not the quickest on 1 lap pace, but over a longer race, definitely the car you want to be in. Very unforgiving, or very unforgiving, very forgiving, that car. A bit wide there though from Cuvaras. He's now going to get passed by Garcia. The gap at the front field has already come down to about 17 seconds flat. To almost the second half of this race, almost a sprint race to go. And then we're done for this round at Long Beach. It's gone so quick, like all the other rounds. It's unbelievable when you're having fun, when you're doing something you like, for the drivers too. just move so quick because you have no sense of time really. But Morris on the back now of Rick Thompson. And I don't know where Rick Thompson has or got that pace from in race number 1. He was blisteringly quick in race 1, but he's nowhere to be seen with that pace at the moment in race number 2. So it's a bit of a mystery for me where he got that pace from. Just going into the groove really well maybe for Thompson. Once again, someone touches the wall. That is Moorish this time round. Gaps down outside of a second. This is the one within a second together with the battle between Alfred and Days, which is at the moment dropped to 6/10. Here is Alfred on the back of Brian Days. Is he going to be able to make his way past? In the background we can see the Porsche of Morris that he was fighting with for so long. Johnny Alford, P8 at the minute. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? He's going to go to the inside of the hairpin. He's not. He's going to stick behind. But it's a timid second race so far. Everyone is kind of settled into their rhythms. There's no strategy to be worked. It's just a sprint with a pit stop included. That pit stop is just, well, it gives you the opportunity to try and bring some strategy into it. Let's be honest, if you pit at the beginning, the only thing you're going to do is either put yourself in traffic later on. You're going to gain time in the beginning because, of course, everyone will be fighting each other at the start of a race, but you're going to lose time long term with the amount of traffic that you're going to put yourself into. Talking about pit stops, Derek Morris has already made that pit stop. Kennestup hasn't. And behind that, a whole gaggle of cars who has already made their first pit stop. So that will look a lot closer. Facundo Rago now, gap has come down to 15.2. However, if it keeps coming down at this rate, I don't think it's going to be enough for him. So he needs some kind of special trick during the pit stop. Maybe save some fuel now, so he has to put in less fuel. There's so many options for Facundo Rago to try and gain time in pit lane, which is easy time. Try and gain 4 seconds on track. For most drivers, except if you're Facundo Rago, that's going to take them at least 6-7 laps to do. So you just lose 6 or 7 laps of the race, just trying to catch up to where you were before. Hamlin sells Pepper the dummy, or Waterford the dummy. He's up into P16. I have to say that BWT livery is absolutely great on that McLaren. I don't recall seeing any McLaren, if it's a GT3 or a GT4, run a BWT livery car. I have seen Porsche doing it, of course. Porsche Cup Carrera, you see it a lot. But just to kind of understand how big BWT is, of course, sponsoring Alpine in Formula 1. quite a big name as a sponsor to have in the world of Motorsport. Facundo Rago just posted the fastest lap of the race. And with that attempt, if he keeps doing what he is doing, and that is gaining about a second a lap every time, then he might be, there is a chance that he's on the back of Günther before the end of this race. That, however, would be his only chance, and even that is going to be difficult to do. We're just over halfway and we've had about 15 laps in this race. So you can do the maths yourself. I mean, that will be at around 30 laps come the end of this race, but you have to include the pit stop with that. So it might be 29, might be 28, depending on how quick we go, but it'll certainly be 27. So how much fuel is Facundo Rago going to put in? With 7 laps to go, or with 27 being the end goal, then he has about 12 laps left, which would not be enough. Then he would need about 1.7 seconds more than that. So if he can gain that in the pit stop, then he should be golden. He should be right on the back of Günther by the end of the race. And we'll give him at least one shot at trying to overtake us. Sia has gone into pit lane. Closest battle on the track at the moment is this battle between Derek Morris and Rick Thompson. I have to say, Rick Thompson is not doing too badly here. Up in P8 at the moment. Alfred Dees up in P6, Alfred, Johnny Alfred in P7, Brian Dees in P6. Exactly what they were asking for, especially at Porsche. Facundo Rago closing that gap down, however, not enough. Gap still 14.5 seconds. That's too much. Needs it to be less than that, especially coming into the latter stages of this race. Where is he going to find that time that he needs? Where is he going to find that time? Maybe a little bit of a wall touch. He's in P2 now, they're lapping drivers. Maybe it's smarter to go into pit lane now, gain time that way. But one thing's for sure, when you're Brody Günther and you're in the lead of this race, you stay out as long as possible, especially when you've got a gap of 13.6 seconds. You stay out as long as you can, as long as your fuel tank allows, as much as you put in at the beginning. General pit stop time about 13 seconds. Stationary in your pit box. Then pit lane time about 45 to 50 seconds, depending of course on how long you're stationary for. Here we go, Brian Dees on the back of Rob Henry. Rob Henry on the back of Martinez, and Alford behind that on the back of Brian Dees. So a close battle here for fourth position, excuse me. Martinez has just been passed. Martinez has gone into pit lane. That's why I was like, I can't see any Aston Martin on the track at the minute. Is that why he's dropping? Yes, he is, because he's not on the track. He's in pit lane at the moment. He decides to make the first pit stop out of the top 4. There are, in total, 7 drivers who still need to make a pit stop. Ken Estrup Johnny Alford, Brian Dees, Rob Henry, Chris Couvars, Facundo Rago and Brody Gunter. All of those 7 drivers still need to make the pit stop. Johnny Alford on the back of Brian Dees. The next gap up in front of that is 1.6 seconds to Henry in the McLaren. Feeling, however, he's not going to get there in time. Or is he? He needs to get past these as early as possible. But people who don't know yet, let's take a look at the livery from Brian Dees. Here it is. Pennzoil on Alfred's car. Brian Dees, a stoppage, a car park at the hairpin. Fred Thompson involved in it. Nicola Batista just about got through that. Let me see what exactly happened there. It started roundabout here, going into the hairpin. Yeah, it started roundabout here. Fred Thompson, what are you going to do, sir? Are you just going to take that hairpin too tightly? Oh, yes, he is. Ah, there's the contact. And there is the stoppage. Make sure that he makes his way out of the way. Then they let Fred Thompson through. And on his way he goes again. Unfortunate incident there for Fred Thompson. One of the cleanest drivers in the league. But unfortunately, contact, a little bit of coming together with the Porsche from Mike Pepper, or Chris Couvars, excuse me. There's Chris Couvars. Here's the battle though for P5. That's all of a sudden made things a lot more closer. Down the inside, or around the outside rather, goes Alford. The Pennzoil liveried Porsche, and he makes his way through. Morris demoted down to P6. Now he has to watch out behind him. Couvars is catching up. Don't think, however, he's going to be too upset about that. He had a shot at it. Didn't quite pay off, as we now see a lot of people into pit lane. Everyone, once they get out of pit lane, will have made their pit stop. Rob Henry, Brian Dees, Johnny Alford, Chris Couvars. The last drivers to make that pit stop. Brody Gunter's made his pit stop. So has Facundo Rago. Gap has come down to 8 seconds. However, will it be enough? Come the end of this race, he's now behind Morris, who has made a very, very quick pit stop. So that might be why. Rago, where is the first possible opportunity for him to get past? Every second spent behind Morris is his second loss to chase down Brody Gunter at the front of the field. And the more points he can gather now in these earlier stages, in the mid stages of the championship, the better contact with the wall for Rago. However, that doesn't seem to hamper his drive out of the corner. He's still going to go around the outside of Morris. Morris kind of allows it to happen. Knows that he's never ever going to keep Rago behind, so it's better maybe for him to try and cling onto the back of him. Try and take advantage of his slipstream. Oh, there we go, into pit lane goes Morris. There we go, that's why Morris had to go into pit lane. Didn't know that. That's a second pit stop then for Derek Morris. Also a driver with 2 pit stops is Mike Hamlin. Due to some unfortunate reasons, of course. It's now 2 Mercedes in the top 3. And this is on merit. Levi is on there, on pace, alone. Some luck, of course, involved in it. No, but he's there on pace. And a little bit of luck. Of course, you always need a little bit of luck to get to where you are. But no, it's Bit of steady drive for Levi so far. Not so many issues, not so many talking points. As we've now entered into the last fourth of this race. About 10 minutes to go. And the gap at the front of the field, 8.4 seconds. That was, just to remember you, about 10 laps ago. That gap was about 16, 17 seconds. So it has come down, or the gap has halved at least. Here's Dave Seats at the back of Rick Thompson. Nick Thompson after that pit stop up in P4 in the BMW. Had a little bit of a shorter stop compared to everyone else. That is here at the front right now. Pit stop or pit lane time for Brody Gunther. 53.7 seconds pit lane time for Facundo Rago. That's where he gained valuable time. 50.1. That's the 3 seconds that I said he was going to need to have at least 2 shots at it. However, he's lost some time again. Spending that time behind some of the other drivers. Levi's gone back into pit lane again. I don't think Facundo Rago is going to have to go in again. 7.9 seconds is going to be oh so close come the end of this race. Needs to be gaining more than he is right now. Rutherford has just overtaken Hamlin. Here's that battle. Both are in the McLarens. Rutherford has gone past Hamlin again. Both are within 3 thousandths or 300ths of a second. There is Fred Thompson again. They're going to slot in right ahead of him. He's rather going to slot in right behind them and continue his way again. So many times where I've heard these drivers just touch the wall. Unbelievable that these cars are still working. 7 minutes to go in this race. We're nearing the end of the race. 7.1 seconds is the gap at the front of the field. It's quickly coming down though. Brody Gunther made some kind of mistake. And Rago to now have a gap of 6.7 seconds to the man in first position. So every minute he gains about a second out on track. Seats in P4 is going to try and make his way past Rick Thompson. Rick Thompson at the moment in a podium position. His dad, Fred Thompson, down in P19. His dad would love to see son Rick Thompson on the podium. However, son Rick Thompson has to fight for it himself. Seats is going to try and get everything out of him. Try and deny him from that podium. It sounds lovely, that BMW. To the inside goes Seats, don't defend it or you're going to get burgled. He's defended it too late. Seats is going to have the inside now, and that is going to be position done. Seats has just absolutely burgled Thompson from that inside spot. And it is Seats now up into the podium spots. Mike Pepper in the background. He's in the back of Levi, the Mercedes. Didn't have the best of times, had to make a second pit stop, which has cost him a lot of time. 5 minutes left, contact with the wall again. A day to forget really for a lot of people. Problem is, however, Long Beach will never forget them with the amount of paint marks they've left on the walls today. gap at the front of the field is kind of stabilized at about 6.2 seconds. Last time round, 400 of a second quicker for Rago. So that's not enough. Mercedes still defending on Mike Pepper. Mike Pepper is now finally going to get his way past. And I don't know how many times Levi has hit this wall already. But it's definitely not ideal. Brody Günther, where are you going to go after this then? Because gaining massive amount of points or losing massive amount of points in race number 1, gaining a lot of points back in race number 2. Dave Seeds is in P3, so he's still going to pick up a decent chunk of points too. So I think overall it'll be Seeds coming out of this evening the happiest. However, rumours have it that Rago is going to try and do everything to deny him in the last 3 minutes of this race across the line to start probably the second to last lap. We're going to see it's going to be close next time round. Will we have 2 more after this one or 1 more? Oh, is that in the wall? No, that is Rutherford's in the wall, or is it Martinez? I think it is Martinez. It is indeed Andres Martinez, who's in the wall down on the turn 1. Ah, there he is. Facundo Rago is at something too, as he crashed together with him. Let's hope that's not the case. I think it is though. This is coming down on the turn 1. Did Andres Martinez rejoin in a dangerous place? Oh yeah, he was just on the exit. No one could see him there. You can only see him when you've already committed to the corner. So that was, I think, the issue there for Facundo Rago. But to come back from the back of the grid to P2, closing into about 6 seconds, is not too bad either. There he is, white flag in the air for Brody Günther. Last time round 127.30. Doesn't have to push. The only thing he needs to do is just make sure that he finishes this lap well. Here we go on board then with the man who's leading this race at the moment, who's touched these walls about 1 million times already. The amount of paint that these drivers have left behind on this circuit is immense. Don't think any sponsors will be able to be seen on the walls anymore after this weekend. What a beautiful sight to see these GT4s rush through the streets of Long Beach. Always great to see the best do what they're good at in the streets of Long Beach. These drivers have performed here for us today on the streets. And it's going to be Brody Günther who's going to round off the last hairpin. And he's got it again. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, winner for the feature race at Long Beach. Brody Günther wins another one and gains some valuable points back in the championship. That championship lead that has been massively eaten into due to that result in race number 1. Facundo Rago had a great shot at it. At the end was just not enough. Dave Seeds has a battle with Rick Thompson. In the end, has been able to get past 2.4 seconds is the gap. And then now coming into the last hairpin too. Just wants to make sure he gets a good exit out of it. That's all he can do. But Rick Thompson still can't be disappointed with a 4th placed finish. All he can really ask for. Johnny Alford in P5 ahead of Brian Dees in P6. And P7 for Rob Henry. Ken Ested in P8. And P9 for Derek Morris. Mike Pepper in P10 ahead of Calvin Levy all the way down in P11 for that Mercedes. It was looking so promising earlier on in the race, but then had to make a pit stop more than the rest, which completely put him out of the running, sadly. Not something that you like to see, but something that is sadly part of motorsports. You just have to deal with it the best, and drivers who can deal with that the best will eventually be the first one across the start finish line. What a drive from everyone here, and it's time to go to the results of these races because they'll be packed. Brody Gunter wins, 11.7 seconds ahead of Facundo Rago. Could not do the double, looked for a moment like he was getting close to Brody Gunter. Dave Seitz in P3 ahead of Rick Thompson in P4. Johnny Alford P5. Brian Dees in P6. Rob Henry P7. Ken Ested P8. Derek Morris P9. And Mike Pepper rounds off the top 10. Calvin Levi in P11. Mike Hamlin P12. 13th for Rene Garcia. Corey Rutherford in P14, Chris Couvars in P15, Joshua Rutherford in P16, Andres Martinez P17, Nicholas Batista down in P18, P19 for Fred Thompson, and Andy Pollocky in P20. What a drive from all the drivers. I thank you very much for watching all at home. We've seen an amazing race, up and downs for drivers. Facundo Rago, don't know what he ate before he went into this race, but he needs to do it more often, and he needs to show me the recipe because I want it, because he was flying today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being in chat. Hash Brown, who was watching us on the toilet, thank you very much. Hope you at the moment have gotten off the toilet. But like I said, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Bye-bye.